First contact, first blood. The alert came without warning, rippling through the command centers of the Galactic Coalition. Something unknown was approaching Coalition space, moving with purpose and precision. On the bridge of the Coalition flagship Dominant Will, Admiral Zexveri studied the holographic projection with narrowed eyes. The vessel's trajectory was unmistakable. It was headed directly for the Coalition's inner sectors. "Magnify," he ordered, his mandibles clicking with irritation. The projection zoomed in, revealing a sleek vessel unlike any in the Coalition database. Its hull gleamed with a matte black finish that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. No external weapons were visible, but the Admiral knew better than to assume it was harmless. "Origin," he demanded. His intelligence officer, a slender Tauridian with translucent skin that pulsed with neural activity, stepped forward. "Sir, preliminary analysis suggests Earth." A hushed silence fell over the bridge. Earth, a backwater planet in an unremarkable solar system. The Coalition had surveyed it centuries ago and deemed its dominant species, humans, too primitive for meaningful contact. They were categorized as a Level 2 civilization, barely capable of reaching their own moon. They weren't even worth the effort of conquest. "Impossible," the Admiral declared. "Humans lack the technology for interstellar travel." "The data is conclusive, sir. The vessel's energy signature contains elements unique to Earth's composition. And there's more. We've intercepted communications. The language matches Earth's dominant dialect." Admiral Zexveri's exoskeleton tightened around his torso, the equivalent of a human frown. "How many occupants?" "Scans indicate approximately 200 life forms." 200, against a coalition that spanned 17,000 worlds. The Admiral almost laughed. "Dispatch a diplomatic vessel," he ordered. "Standard first contact protocol. But position the 7th Fleet just beyond their sensor range. If these humans have somehow acquired advanced technology, I want to know how, and from whom." The diplomatic vessel, a gleaming bird-like craft designed to appear non-threatening, departed immediately. Behind it, hidden in the shadow of a gas giant, the 7th Fleet waited, 500 warships, each capable of reducing a planet's surface to molten slag. The diplomatic team was led by Ambassador Quivnera, a veteran of 17 first contact missions. He had never failed to establish coalition dominance through either diplomacy or intimidation. As his ship approached the human vessel, he arranged his facial tentacles in what his species considered an expression of benevolent authority. "Human vessel," he broadcast on all frequencies. "This is Ambassador Quivnera of the Galactic Coalition. Your presence in Coalition space is unauthorized but not unwelcome. We invite you to power down your engines and prepare to receive our diplomatic delegation." The response was immediate, but not what anyone expected. "Coalition vessel," came a calm, almost amused human voice. "This is Captain Morgan Chen of the Earth ship Defiance. We appreciate your welcome, but will maintain our current operational status. You're welcome to come aboard, unarmed, or to invite us onto your vessel. Your choice." Ambassador Quivnera's tentacles rippled with indignation. No species had ever refused a direct order during first contact. It simply wasn't done. "Captain Chen," he replied, his translator struggling to maintain a neutral tone. "Perhaps I was unclear. The Galactic Coalition has jurisdiction over this sector of space. Your compliance is not optional." There was a pause, and then, "Ambassador, with respect, Earth recognizes no such jurisdiction. We're on a peaceful mission of exploration, but we will not be ordered about. Now shall we meet, or shall we continue on our way?" In the Coalition flagship, Admiral Zexveri received the transmission with mounting rage. "Arrogance," he hissed. "Prepare the fleet." Against his better judgment, Ambassador Quivnera agreed to board the human vessel. His security team of 4 Cronus warriors, each standing 3 meters tall with reinforced exoskeletons, accompanied him. They expected to intimidate the humans with their physical presence alone. The human ship's docking procedure was flawless, adapting instantaneously to the coalition vessel's specifications. This was the first sign that something was amiss. Level 2 civilizations shouldn't have such adaptive technology. Captain Chen greeted them personally in the docking bay. She was unremarkable by human standards. Average height, athletic build, dark hair cut short for practicality. But her eyes, deep brown and utterly calm, gave the ambassador pause. "Welcome aboard the Defiance," she said with a slight bow. "I trust your journey was comfortable." Ambassador Quivnera's universal translator rendered her words perfectly, another troubling development. "Captain Chen, I must insist that you explain your presence in coalition space and the origin of your vessel's technology." Captain Chen's smile didn't waver. "Of course. Please, follow me to our conference room. We have refreshments prepared." As they moved through the corridors of the human ship, the ambassador's unease grew. The technology was seamless, far beyond what humans should possess. The crew they passed was diverse in appearance but unified in their quiet confidence. None showed the slightest intimidation at the sight of the towering Cronus warriors. In the conference room, Captain Chen gestured to a table set with various foods and drinks. "Please, make yourselves comfortable." "Captain," the ambassador said, ignoring the refreshments, "you haven't answered my question. How does a Level 2 civilization acquire interstellar technology?" Captain Chen's expression cooled slightly. "Level 2. I'm not familiar with your classification system, Ambassador, but I assure you, everything aboard this vessel was designed and built by humans." "Impossible. Your species was barely reaching your moon when last surveyed." "When was that survey conducted?" 200 standard cycles ago." Captain Chen laughed, a sound that sent chills through the ambassador's neural network. "Ambassador, humans accomplish more in a decade than some species do in a millennium. Your information is catastrophically outdated." Before the ambassador could respond, the ship's communications officer entered. "Captain, we're detecting multiple vessels moving into position around us." "Attack formation." The ambassador's tentacles rippled with satisfaction. "The 7th Fleet. I suggest you power down your systems immediately, Captain. The Coalition does not tolerate deception." Captain Chen's expression didn't change. "You came aboard under a flag of diplomacy, Ambassador. Was that a lie?" "Diplomacy with equals, Captain. Supervision for lesser species." For a brief moment, something dangerous flashed in the captain's eyes. Then it was gone, replaced by calm resolve. "I see. Communications, alert Earth Command. Tactical, bring defense systems online." "Captain," the ambassador warned, "the 7th Fleet consists of 500 warships. Your vessel, impressive as it may be, stands no chance." Captain Chen's smile returned, but there was nothing friendly about it now. "Let's test that theory, shall we?" On the bridge of the Dominant Will, Admiral Zexveri watched as the human vessel powered up systems that defied Coalition understanding. Energy readings spiked in patterns that shouldn't have been possible with known physics. "Target their propulsion and communication arrays," he ordered. "Disable, don't destroy. I want that technology intact." 500 Coalition warships opened fire simultaneously. The space around the human vessel lit up with energy weapons designed to cripple ships 10 times its size. None connected. The human vessel moved with impossible speed, evading the coordinated assault with ease. Then it responded. A single pulse of energy erupted from the Defiance, expanding outward in a perfect sphere. When it reached the Coalition fleet, every ship simply stopped. Engines died. Weapons went offline. Even life support systems faltered momentarily before emergency backups engage. Admiral Zexveri stared in disbelief as his mighty fleet drifted helplessly in space. "How?" he whispered. On every vessel in the Coalition fleet, on every communication channel, Captain Chen's voice rang out clear and unwavering. "This is Captain Morgan Chen of the Earth Ship Defiance. Your unprovoked attack has been neutralized. Your vessels have been temporarily disabled, but will recover full functionality in approximately 6 hours. By then, we will be gone." She paused, and when she continued, there was steel in her voice. "Let me be perfectly clear. Humanity is not your enemy unless you make us so. We are not interested in your territory, your resources, or your subjugation. We seek only knowledge and peaceful coexistence. But make no mistake, we will defend ourselves with absolute resolve." Another pause. "This vessel is but one of thousands. Earth stands ready. The next time we meet, I hope it will be in peace. If not, the consequences will be entirely your responsibility." The transmission ended, and the human vessel vanished in a flash of light that defied the understood laws of physics. In the silent darkness of his disabled flagship, Admiral Zexveri felt something he had never experienced in his 300-cycle military career. Fear. The galaxy was about to change. Humanity had arrived. The human advantage. The High Council chamber of the Galactic Coalition buzzed with agitation. Representatives from 17,000 worlds filled the vast amphitheater, their varied physiologies creating a tapestry of life forms united by a single emotion: alarm. Admiral Zexveri stood at the center, his exoskeleton now bearing the ceremonial markings of disgrace, thin red lines etched into the chitinous surface to mark his failure. The human vessel disabled the entire 7th Fleet with a single energy discharge, he explained, his voice amplified throughout the chamber. No known technology could achieve this. No known physics could explain it. High Chancellor Vox Lumina, the elected leader of the coalition, leaned forward on her gravity throne. Her crystalline body refracted the chamber's light into prismatic patterns across the floor. "You're telling us," she said, her voice resonating like struck crystal, "that a single vessel from a backwater world has technology that surpasses our combined civilizations. The evidence is irrefutable, Chancellor." Murmurs rippled through the assembly. Some called for immediate military action, a full-scale invasion of Earth. Others advocated for isolation, quarantining the entire solar system. Before a consensus could form, a small figure stepped into the central platform beside the Admiral. Dr. Zintokra, the Coalition's leading xenobiologist, looked fragile next to the military commander. Her species evolved in high gravity, resulting in a compact form barely a meter tall. "Esteemed Council," she began, her voice surprisingly powerful from such a small frame. "I've been studying humans for decades. The Admiral's report confirms what I've long suspected. Humans are dangerous not because of what they are, but because of how they think." The chamber quieted. Every species in the coalition evolved through specialization, becoming exceptionally good at one thing. The Tauridians are unmatched in computation. The Cronus excel in physical power. The Lumboks, like our Chancellor, developed unsurpassed energy manipulation. She activated a holographic display showing the human brain. Humans specialized in not specializing. Their neural architecture is uniquely adaptable. They learn, innovate, and improvise at rates that defy our understanding. What took us millennia, they achieve in centuries or even decades. "Are you suggesting," the Chancellor asked, "that their technology is entirely self-developed?" "Yes. And what's more alarming, the vessel we encountered likely represents only their mid-level capability." The silence that followed was profound. Finally, the Chancellor spoke. "We must respond decisively. I am authorizing the deployment of the Grand Fleet. We will locate this human vessel and neutralize the threat it poses." Dr. Zintokra's expression fell. "Chancellor, with respect, direct confrontation may be precisely the wrong approach." But the decision was made. The Grand Fleet, 2,000 of the Coalition's most advanced warships, deployed within a day. Their mission: find the human vessel Defiance and either capture or destroy it. They found it waiting for them at the edge of Coalition space. Fleet Admiral Corvexa, the Coalition's most decorated military commander, studied the lone human vessel with contempt. One ship against 2,000. Their confidence borders on insanity. His tactical officer, a neural-enhanced Tauridian, looked less certain. "Admiral, the vessel is broadcasting on all frequencies. They're requesting communication." "Put it through," the Admiral ordered, settling into his command chair. Captain Chen's face appeared on the main display. She looked exactly as she had during the first encounter, calm, collected, perhaps even slightly amused. "Admiral," she greeted him. "I see the Coalition has decided to escalate rather than communicate. Disappointing, but not unexpected." Admiral Corvexo leaned forward. "Captain Chen, you stand against the combined might of 17,000 worlds. Surrender your vessel and its technology immediately." "I'm afraid I can't do that, Admiral. But I can offer you one final opportunity to withdraw." The Admiral laughed, a harsh sound like grinding metal. "You are either brave beyond measure or foolish beyond comprehension." "Perhaps both," Captain Chen conceded with a small smile. "But before you open fire, you should know that we've spent the past week studying your technology, your tactics, and your weaknesses." "Impossible," the Admiral snapped. "Our systems are impenetrable." "Nothing is impenetrable, Admiral. Not even the Grand Fleet's quantum-encrypted communication network." The Admiral froze. That information was known only to the highest levels of Coalition command. Captain Chen continued, "We've also taken the liberty of mapping your fleet's neural interface vulnerabilities. Did you know that a precisely modulated theta wave can temporarily disrupt the synaptic connections between your officers and their ship controls?" Before the Admiral could respond, alarms blared across his flagship. One by one, neural interfaces throughout the Grand Fleet began failing. Officers collapsed at their stations, the biological connections to their vessels severed painlessly but completely. "What have you done?" the Admiral demanded, watching as his mighty fleet began drifting out of formation. "A temporary measure," Captain Chen assured him. "No permanent damage. Your crews will recover in approximately 30 minutes. Their neural interfaces in about 6 hours. The Admiral's rage was palpable. "You cannot defeat 2,000 ships. We don't need to defeat you, Admiral. We only need you to listen." The main display changed, showing not Captain Chen, but a different human, older, with silver hair and the bearing of authority. "I am President Eleanor Stern of the United Earth Government," the woman stated. "What you are witnessing is not an act of war, but a demonstration of resolve. Humanity has no interest in conflict with the Galactic Coalition, but neither will we submit to intimidation or classification as a lesser species." She paused, allowing her words to sink in. "For centuries, we developed in isolation, unaware of the wider galactic community. When we finally achieved faster-than-light travel, we discovered something troubling. Evidence of Coalition scout ships observing our planet, classifying us, judging us unworthy of contact." Admiral Corvexa remained silent, unable to deny the accusation. The Defiance was sent not as a warship but as a messenger. Its mission was simple: demonstrate humanity's capabilities in a way that could not be ignored. "Captain Chen has performed this duty admirably." The President's expression softened slightly. "We now stand at a crossroads. The Coalition can either recognize Earth as a sovereign power worthy of respect and alliance, or it can continue to view us as a threat to be eliminated. Choose wisely." The transmission ended, leaving the Admiral staring at a blank screen as his incapacitated fleet drifted around him. 6 hours later, when the Grand Fleet had recovered enough functionality to limp home, they found that the human vessel had vanished as completely as before. 3 days after that, a small diplomatic shuttle arrived at the Coalition's capital world. It carried a human delegation led by Ambassador Sarah Chen, Captain Morgan Chen's twin sister. She entered the High Council chamber alone, unarmed, and presented a formal proposal for Earth's recognition as a sovereign power and potential ally. "Humanity does not seek dominance," she told the assembled representatives. "We seek partnership. We have much to offer: technology, resources, innovation. In return, we ask only for respect and autonomy." High Chancellor Vox. Luminous studied the human ambassador carefully. Your sister's actions were provocative, Ambassador Chen. Many view them as acts of war. My sister, Ambassador Chen replied calmly, acted exactly as instructed, to ensure humanity would be taken seriously. Had she wished to wage war, this conversation would not be taking place. Dr. Zintokra, who had been observing silently, stepped forward. Chancellor, I believe the humans are sincere. Their approach was aggressive, yes, but measured. At no point did they cause permanent damage or loss of life, despite having the capability to do so. The debate raged for days. Many coalition members demanded punishment, reparations, or even preemptive strikes against Earth. But as more information about human civilization emerged, their art, their philosophy, their astonishing rate of technological advancement, others began to advocate for alliance. In the end, pragmatism prevailed. The coalition formally recognized Earth as a sovereign power and established diplomatic relations. 1 month later, the first Joint Human Coalition Scientific Summit convened. The advances that emerged from that collaboration within the first year alone revolutionized travel, communication, energy production, and medicine throughout coalition space. 2 years after that, when the Hive Collective, a hostile force from beyond the galactic rim, launched their first attacks, it was a fleet of human-designed ships that led the coalition's defense, and standing on the bridge of the lead vessel, now named Alliance rather than Defiance, Captain Morgan Chen allowed herself a small smile as she gave the order to engage. The galaxy had indeed been shaken, but from that upheaval had emerged something stronger, more vibrant, and infinitely more interesting than what had existed before. Humanity had arrived, and the stars would never be the same again.